On their way to school, Tamara and Ever tease each other about their crushes. Tamara gets distracted while complaining about how unfriendly some of their crushes are. Ever tries to get her to focus, but it's too late. Their car hits a bicycle, sending Randall crashing into some trash can. Randall gets angry and starts yelling, but he stops as soon as he sees Tamara. He's about to ask her out when suddenly a slushie hits him in the face. It was thrown by Danny, who is driving with his best friend Hunt and his girlfriend JC. They act like total jerks. Even so, Tamara talks nicely to them because she really wants to be popular. Ever offers Randall a ride, but Tamara refuses. Later at school, the class gets ready for a field trip. Gym teacher Lorenzo collects everyone's phone. When Ever says she doesn't have one, he mocks her in front of everyone. Lorenzo jokingly says he should take the bus driver Wayne's phone too, but Wayne doesn't find it funny. Before leaving, Lorenzo gives a cheesy speech about connecting with nature. After hours on the road, Lorenzo realizes Wayne took a wrong turn. They start arguing, and Wayne gets distracted. Suddenly, the bus hits something, and blood splatters across the windshield. Wayne can't see, and the bus smashes through a fence and crashes down a hill. Everyone gets hurt. G breaks her nose, and Lorenzo just tells her to cover it up. Then, they see something moving in the woods. The bus shakes as something bangs on it. Suddenly, the radio blares with an emergency alert from the Office of Civil Defense, warning everyone to evacuate because of a chemical attack. Something slams into the window, leaving a bloody smear. A man appears at the bus door. Wayne and the students beg Lorenzo not to open it, but he does anyway. The man jumps on Lorenzo and bites his face. He's a zombie. The teens panic and rush to the emergency exit. Candace falls and others step on her in their panic, making her cough up blood. The zombie tackles Lorenzo and attacks the remaining teens inside, tossing them around. Ever grabs Candace's hand and tries to pull her out, but the zombie drags Candace back inside. Ever escapes into the woods. She almost gets lost in a thick, strange fog, but makes it through and finds Tamara. They hear a terrifying roar in the distance and keep moving until they reach a building. As they rush inside, Danny slips on a pool of blood and falls on the guts of a dead horse. It's so disgusting that no one helps him, so he crawls out on his own. The group keeps looking for safety and finds another building. Inside, they hear loud roars and banging doors. Suddenly, there are roars behind them too, trapping them. The teens have no choice but to go forward. While moving, they argue about what's happening. Danny thinks everyone is overreacting and insists that zombies aren't real. As they worry about their family, the group hears the terrifying roars getting closer. They rush inside the building and hide. Once inside an apartment, they split up to search for weapons. In one dark room, they find creepy stuffed animals surrounded by candles, but also some tools they can use. They quickly start moving heavy furniture to block the doors and windows. While working near a window, Tamara thinks she sees someone outside and hears a woman scream. She's startled when Hunt suddenly makes rude and stupid comments, snapping her out of. Steven notices that Ever looks scared. He promises to protect her, claiming he's ready because of his experience playing tabletop games. The two of them talk about how mean the popular kids are. Randall warns Ever that Tamara might end up leaving her to join them. Meanwhile, JC tries to convince Tamara to spend more time with her group instead of Ever. Once they finish securing the apartment, they hear Candace's voice outside, calling for help. Ever looks out the window and confirms it's really her. She wants to save her, but Randall stops her and points at a zombie lurking near the door. Everyone freezes in fear. They stay completely quiet until the zombie moves away. When Ever checks again, she sees the zombie climb on top of a van to watch Ken. Ever insists they should help, but everyone says it's too dangerous. As soon as the zombie jumps down from the van, Ever throws open the window and shouts Candace's name. Candace starts running toward the building while Ever tries to open the door, but the others refuse to help. Before Candace can make it inside, the zombie tackles her to the ground and begins smashing her head. At that same moment, a mutated Wayne appears and begins pounding on the door. Ever stumbles backward as Wayne punches through the wood and sticks his head into the hole. Suddenly, the door bursts open. The zombies have thrown Candace's body against it. Wayne charges inside while another zombie crashes through the wall. Thinking fast, Danny grabs a wooden plank and strikes Wayne, creating an opening. The teens run and find another. They struggle to shut the door as Wayne pushes hard from the other side, but they finally manage to lock it. When they turn on the lights, they notice graffiti on the walls and glowing sticks scattered across the floor. It looks like a rave had been held there earlier. G screams as she bumps into something behind a curtain, but it turns out to be their classmate, Ryan. Ryan explains that he saw the creatures attack other teens who then started acting strangely. This suggests they were infected. Danny still refuses to believe that zombies are real. Suddenly, the first zombie bursts through the back door, and this time, he's brought more zombies with him. The teens run toward the entrance, only to see Wayne and more creatures blocking the way. Panicking, they start ripping down curtains and searching for any other way out. As the zombies get closer, the group spots a small hole in the wall. Randall punches the wooden board covering it until it breaks loose. Hunt is trapped behind another curtain, punching zombies while desperately yelling for Danny to help him. The creatures surround Hunt and grab him. Danny rushes in, fighting as many zombies as he can, but there are too many of them. Hunt is dragged away by the horde, and Danny is forced to run to save himself. Meanwhile, Ryan tries to squeeze through the hole, but he's too big and starts to bleed as he struggles. Ever pushes him with all her strength, and Ryan finally falls through, though his wound gets worse. Ever also slips and falls into the hole. A zombie leaps toward Ever, but Danny suddenly returns. He grabs the monster and throws it away before jumping through the hole himself to rejoin the group. Randall quickly blocks the hole again, and they all keep running. In the next room, they find creepy mannequins and clown dolls scattered everywhere. The sight makes everyone uneasy. Danny has a breakdown over losing Hunt. He blames Ever for calling out to Candace earlier, saying it revealed their location to the zombies. As Danny looks around, he notices something strange. The mannequins look like them. He realizes that the group has been specifically targeted. Ever then notices that her own mannequin's face is completely blank, which makes her feel even more disturbed. Suddenly, Wayne smashes through the dolls, attacking without warning. During the chaos, he smears blood on Tamara's arm. Randall then grabs something heavy and smashes it against Wayne's head, knocking him down. But Randall doesn't stop there. Filled with rage, he keeps hitting Wayne over and over until Wayne no longer moves. Ryan calls him incredible, and Tamara hugs him, grateful that he saved her. Ever notices some items that fell from Wayne's pocket. She realizes he had been using illegal drugs before all this started. She quietly takes his lighter. Suddenly, Danny begins coughing and says he feels cold. Randall, concerned, asks if he's hurt. Danny lifts his shirt and reveals a strange wound on his side. He says a zombie injected him with something during the earlier fight. Danny grabs the jacket from his mannequin and declares he's going to rescue his friend. He starts climbing the stairs, but he's growing weak and dizzy. Soon, he has to crawl to reach the next floor. The others follow closely behind. Ryan tries to comfort him and asks if he wants some water, but accidentally calls him Daniel instead of Danny. This enrages Danny, and he shoves Ryan against the wall while shouting insults at him. He only stops when Ever yells at him to let go. Breathing heavily, Danny rants about how he's lost everything. He says he had to completely change himself to stop hating the person he used to be. Suddenly, Wayne bursts through the door again, charging like a wild beast. Everyone jumps aside, and Wayne slams directly into Danny, knocking both of them through the window. The group rushes to the window and sees the two bodies lying still on the ground below. Believing they're dead, G begins to cry. Ryan explains through tears that Danny wasn't always mean. When they were kids, he used to be a good person. But then, to their shock, Danny's body begins to twist and move unnaturally. He suddenly stands up and runs off into the distance, letting out a terrifying roar. With Danny now gone, Randall hugs Jai tightly and promises that he will protect her no matter what. Randall thinks it's too dangerous to go into the forest. He suggests they stay inside the building and block every entrance, but Ever disagrees. She points out that they don't have food or water, and no one will find them if they just hide there. She says the only way to survive is to go outside and look for help. Ever explains her plan. They'll distract the zombies by drawing them to one side of the building, then escape from the other side. Once free, they can try to find the bus and maybe get their phones back. Randall starts to argue, but Ever cuts him off, reminding him that she doesn't need his permission to make decisions. Determined, Ever grabs several paint cans and ties them together. Using Wayne's lighter, she sets them on fire and throws them toward the van parked outside. The flames and smoke catch the zombies' attention, and they begin to gather around the burning can. As the monsters move toward the fire, Ever starts to leave. Tamara tries to stop her, worried about her safety, but Ever lashes out. She tells Tamara that she's tired of being ignored, while Tamara chooses to spend all her time with the popular kids instead of standing by her. Hurt and angry, Ever leaves, and Stephen quickly decides to follow her. The two of them push aside the barricade and sneak outside. They run as fast as they can and finally reach the bus. Entering through the back door, Ever gasps and screams when she sees a hand sticking out from one of the seats, but it turns out to just be Lorenzo's lifeless body. Ever searches for the teacher's bag. When she finds it, her heart sinks. Every single phone inside is completely smashed. She realizes her plan has failed, and there's no way to call for help. Crying, Ever breaks down and admits she feels like a complete failure, not just now, but in her whole life. Stephen gently comforts her and admits that he has deep insecurities too. As they share this vulnerable moment, they grow closer and almost kiss. Suddenly, Ever notices the bus radio flashing and making a soft beeping noise. She investigates and finds a tape playing the emergency message they had heard earlier. That's when she realizes something terrible. The message was fake. They were set up from the very beginning. Stephen suddenly jabs a needle into her shoulder. As her body begins to go numb and paralyzed, he apologizes, whispering that she wasn't supposed to discover the truth. Ever collapses to the floor. At that moment, Randall walks in and praises Stephen, saying he did a great job. Everything that happened began a month earlier. In a flashback, we see Randall and Stephen talking. Randall came up with a twisted plan. He wanted to scare the popular kids for always being cruel and mean. His idea was to rescue the girls afterwards so they would see him as a hero. Stephen agreed to help. Together, they prepared the abandoned building. During this setup, Randall revealed there was a third person involved, a shady dealer named Chip. Back in the present, Randall is furious and yells at Chip, who turns out to be the same zombie that attacked and killed Lorenzo earlier. Randall shouts that Chip wasn't supposed to actually hurt anyone. He was only supposed to scare them and knock them out. Chip takes off his mask, revealing his face. Ever hallucinates and briefly sees Lorenzo standing there, warning her that Chip looks familiar. Then Ever remembers. She saw Chip near the bus back at school before everything went wrong. The flashback continues. Wayne was part of the plan too. He was one of Chip's regular customers and had his own grudge. Lorenzo had bullied and harassed Wayne ever since they were kids, so Wayne eagerly joined the scheme. The bus accident wasn't random either. Chip caused it by throwing a balloon filled with something strange at the windshield. The zombies weren't real zombies at all. They were actually their own classmates from the bus. Chip had injected them with a powerful green substance that slowed their movements and clouded their minds. It was Wayne who destroyed all the phones on purpose to keep anyone from calling for help. Back on the bus in the present, Randall, Steven, and Chip argue heatedly. Steven is angry and scared, shouting that Chip lied to him. Chip had promised the green substance wouldn't hurt anyone, and that when it wore off, no one would even remember what happened. Chip insists he was telling the truth. He swears that the effects are temporary. Once the drug fades, everything will go back to normal. Hearing the argument, Ever finally understands that the zombie who attacked her earlier wasn't trying to hurt her, but was actually asking for help. Chip then reveals that all the people they injected are locked inside a cage. Chip says it's time to end everything and starts ranting about how people bullied him back in school. He explains they must stop these bullies to break the cycle. While saying this, Chip puts on a glove with syringes attached to it. Steven panics when he realizes this was never part of the plan. Randall steps in, saying he's going back to Tamar. He apologizes to Steven and explains that since their plan is falling apart, the only way to avoid prison is to kill everyone. Steven freaks out again, but Randall tells him not to worry because they will frame the girls for everything. Randall then leaves with Steven. Ever sits in tears, watching Chip smoke a cigarette. She starts to hallucinate and sees Lorenzo telling her to fight back and survive. Determined, she forces herself to crawl toward the back door. Just as she's about to reach it, Chip grabs her and throws her into a chair. The hallucination of Lorenzo urges her to think about her mother, and she smashes her forehead into Chip's face. She then hits him with a boombox. Once he falls, she keeps hitting him until he's completely knocked out. Meanwhile, inside the building, Randall gets angry and destroys their model of the plan. He then shows Steven the cage with their victims and explains a new plan, to kill them all. Hunt shouts at him in anger, but Randall injects him before he can fight back. After injecting all the students in the cage, Randall tells Steven to open the cage at the right moment. Then, Randall leaves to meet Tamara. He lies to Tamara, saying Ever is dead, and hugs her while she cries. Soon, Randall gathers Ryan, JC, and the others. At the same time, the trapped students start yelling and begging Steven for help. Randall hears the noise and quickly tells everyone that those screams are coming from the zombies who killed their friends. He says they must get revenge and kill them. Randall pulls out a bag of weapons and hands them out, even keeping a sword for himself. As Randall opens the door to release the zombies, Steven opens the cage. But just then, Ever shows up and slams the cage door shut again. She begs everyone to stop. Everyone notices her black veins, and G immediately thinks she is a zombie too. Randall tries to convince the group to kill Ever, but she explains everything and exposes Randall's plan. Danny, still inside the cage, supports Ever's story. JC and Ryan realize Danny is back to normal. Ever asks Tamara to take her side. Tamara grabs a weapon and smashes Randall on the head, knocking him into a curtain. The curtain falls, revealing a giant mural showing Randall as a hero, with Tamara holding his leg and Steven protecting Ever. Steven panics and tries to attack Ever with a syringe, but the trapped students grab him and drag him into the cage. Hunt and Danny come out and everyone starts beating Steven. While everyone reunites, Randall attacks Ever with his sword. JC throws a crowbar to Ever, who uses it to block his strikes. Tamara then charges at Randall, yelling that she would never be with someone like him. Randall smashes her weapon and prepares to kill her. Danny rushes forward and shields Tamara. Ever throws the crowbar back to Jai, who immediately hits Randall, knocking him down. But he quickly recovers and charges at Ever again. At that moment, Ever pulls out Chip's syringe glove and stabs Randall in the face, then pushes him down the stairs. Afterward, both Ever and Danny vomit as the drug leaves their systems. Danny apologizes for being mean earlier. Suddenly, Randall returns, overdosing and barely able to stand. The students, now fully recovered, join forces to fight him. They punch and kick Randall over and over. Even though he manages to headbutt JC, Ryan steps in and beats him brutally until Randall collapses. Tamara, impressed, calls Ryan awesome. Feeling stronger, Ever smashes Randall in the face with the sword. Wayne wakes up tied outside. Both Steven and Randall are tied to the mural. Ryan pushes Danny in a wheelbarrow, and Danny asks to be called Daniel again as they make peace and become friends. Hunt, still confused, learns that Ryan and Danny met at Fat Camp. Ryan used to be kind, but after losing weight, he turned into a jerk. JC befriends Candace, and everyone finally gets along. No more division between popular kids and outcasts. Ever and Tamara apologize to each other and hug. realizing they truly need each other. After removing Chip's body, the group fixes the bus and prepares to leave the forest. But they all scream in shock when Lorenzo suddenly wakes up. Weeks later, a teacher approaches Stephen and Randall, offering them a job to help discipline troublemaking kids. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.